Yeah, I had to get up out of there. But yeah, man. Like I say, keeping it real, Kickin Da Bo Bo. I had some Kickin Da Bo Bo up there on my Facebook account, but they erased a lot of live. I thought that might not be retroactive, but I think that was retroactive. So I don't know how far in the past they went. I still ain't sat down and scrolled all the way down. My old Facebook that I got locked out of, word has it on the street that a white male Hispanic picked up the phone and kept it. So that's the one that got that bogus post. That last post is bogus. That wasn't me. That was them. And they went into stuff. I couldn't get no email, nothing. No old social media apps. And by me not being able to manipulate my email, that made it even more difficult to get into social media apps and whatnot. So, anyway, Kickin Da Bo Bo. That's what I titled the one. I'm uploading it now as we speak. This, Saturday morning. But touching on aspects of the game, this ism, how long, it's been in the game, but the game has been really messed up. Anybody out there, you young people, you got uncles and fathers and grandfathers and whatnot. If they are in jail for drug-related charges, sometimes it might be M1, right? A lot of stuff come with the game. Let me see, M1, drug-related. You might pick up a robbery charge, get some straightening. Somebody probably got some of yours or something, or did something to you, and your get back was gonna take something from them, and it end up in the courtroom. See, G code. We had to remember. A lot of people act like, just because you got it right on G code, you still got to keep in mind the code of the legal code. It's a lot of stuff they not going to see eye to eye. They're going to take advantage of the situation, and they're going to charge you with a felony, and they're going to prosecute. And a lot of times they're going to have the witnesses, and you're not careful, some of your co-defendants will become state witnesses, and it's going to turn into a big mess. So there's a lot of dudes in their own code. So when I'm talking about somebody who was doing time and done got a lot of time, and sometimes you might hear me say some derogatory terms because I had personal investment. My life was on the line. My freedom was on the line. My money was on the line. And in my personal experience, my money was getting messed up. That's why I ain't never really accumulate no real type of money. Dudes kept messing the money up. So speaking from experience, I can only be talking about X amount of guys, because I only did stuff with X amount of guys. Anybody else might just so happen to fall in that category perfectly, and whatever derogatory phrase or term I use toward the people I do know, it might fit them too, but that's really not intentional. It's more so talking to people who want to learn, whether you know me or not, who want to tighten up on their game, and of course those who actually did run with me in the streets. So yeah, it's a lot of people in there. I chose to say Calvin L. Wimbush, I think his name is. We call him Good Game, because I know Good Game is not camera shy. I know that his charges and whatnot, it are public record now. Anybody can go see and find that out. So that part that is public record, I chose to speak on that but not to knock Good Game. That's one of the people I admired and looked up to for the record. But using his life experience as a teaching point, Minister Anthony Durden, many of you know him as Minister Anthony Durden. I met him as he was hi-fi, right? He used to have old transistor radios, AM, FM, sometimes AM only, if I remember correctly. And they called him hi-fi, right? Got a lot of highest tweeters, hardly no bass in it, right? So hi-fi, he goes into the prisons now, into the juvenile halls, into the prison with the YOs, youth offender been direct filed and stuff like that. And we got our brother Benjamin. I don't know Brother Benjamin's last name. He goes in with the what do we call that now? Is it still Balalian News? It might still be Balalian News. Warthuddin, that came up under Warthuddin. He goes in with the Muslim paper, American Muslim Mission / that Balalian Nation, Balalian News. They might call it something different. I don't know. I remember that Balalian News. It's a newspaper like the Final Call, like Muhammad Speaks. Brother Benjamin goes in. He dawah. We call it dawah. that's giving you talks. But most of the good information that we have for you came from Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the one God that Prophet Muhammad worships, who we call Allah Ta'ala in the language of Arabic, is Allah. Transliterated, spelled in English alphabet, A-L-L-A-H. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala, who has 99 azma, 99 attributes. Many Muslim names come from one of those attributes, right? Allah is Al-Malik, Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim. He's, so you might meet Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman, right? Al-Malik, right? And these people were inspired by the names of Allah. And you find it in the Quran a lot. When they refer to Allah, right? In a passage, in an ayat, a verse called an ayat. And they'll say something. I'll go for the Rahim or something like that. Most forgiving, most merciful. So anyway, talking about Good Game. Good Game got some charges. And I made mention of this in Active Moore's Active More. Active More is more active. Made mention of this, how they have successfully cleaned the streets of so-called derelicts, so-called loiterers and prowlers and all that. But what they also did was took the responsible males and basically terrorized them from being visible, present, or available for anybody, man, woman, or child, who needs some assistance right away, who need an extra pair of eyes, need an extra pair of ears, right away, extra pair of hands and feet. You don't have that. I'm in one of the major cities, which is Miami and Fort Lauderdale, sometime Hollywood and Hollandale and stuff like that, and it's dangerous out here now, because see, all that about the police will eventually find out who did. Number one, they pretty much overwhelmed. They don't really have the manpower to research each and every kidnapping and shooting and this like that. Man, it's a lot of people are missing found dead. Okay. And they trying to figure out what happened. That's pretty late in the game for anybody who wants to be alive. Me personally, I'm not really big on what's gonna happen to you after you F me up. I don't care. Send me to Disney World for all I care. What means most important to me is my soul. My spirit resides in this particular vessel, right? Bestowed upon me. I want to keep this intact for as long as I possibly can. Just for the sake of life itself. Not no big mission I gotta accomplish and things I gotta see and do. Just to be alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Blood is rushing through my veins. My heart is beating. Right? My mind. Yeah, things going on in the conscious mind. Subconscious, superconscious, psyche, magnetic, infinitive. You know. You have voluntary, involuntary muscle. Just that alone. I am alive. Right now the sun is up. It's touching my skin. I can actually breathe the air without coughing and gagging, the eyes turning red and all this kind of stuff, right? And aside from some little problems I have with myself, everything else is fine. I can get around, I can shop for myself, you know, and I can cook for myself. I can iron clothes, and I can see to pick out clothes on the rack and put outfits together and all that. So I like my life. I like living. You know, so I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, cause I got this special mission. No, I got the right to live, period. Taking yourself out, that you wrong for that, let alone ain't nobody else finna come and do it. I can't do it myself if I wanted to. See, that's out. So you definitely ain't finna do shit to me. That's my duty. That's my duty. And what they're doing to these streets, when they terrorize, especially those who are from here, who were born and raised here for generations, we know this area very well. Before gentrification, one of the best things that could happen to you is that you ran into one of us if you were not from the area, right? One of the best things that could happen to you. And anybody that came over here before gentrification and that old set, collection of families, clans, tribes, whatever, they will attest to that. If you live through it, that says a lot. But you got a lot from us just by having us around you, right? So definitely our own children. But me personally, I'm not the one to say, well, F everybody, I don't care what happened to nobody. I really don't like for people to run around here snatching people off the street. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, no beating around the bush and all. That's exactly what's happening. No sugarcoating it. That's some serious, serious stuff. That is somebody, and ain't no one person. And I spoke in some recent posts about the Epstein thing and the Wayne Williams thing and all this and the human trafficking. And I just saw a young girl and her mother just by me right now. That young body there, youth, looking at another now. Man, like I say, y'all are to a human trafficker with a brand new car as to a person that's a car thief. They got to have that. I'm looking at one right now. They got to have that. When they connected and got that hookup, that's money. Money is power. You know, I'm an international player, right? I go around the world doing this. That costs money just to do that. Just to be in business. It take money to make money. We talking about big money. $25,000. Imagine you get a 3-day Carnival cruise, hotel stay when you get over there. No, say a week. How much is it for Carnival cruise to go for a week? Say the Bahamas. Get on Port Everglades, Port of Miami somewhere. Take that cruise. You dock in the Bahamas. Go on the mainland if you want to. I guess you probably have a choice. Stay on the ship. Far as sleeping, but go on the mainland, or you go on the mainland and get a hotel. I don't know exactly how they do. I never did it like that. Whole week. But you got a week in Bahamas. Say you do get a hotel. You pick up some things, some nice things, right? Might find somebody that let you smoke some good reefer. If you do that. Smoke some good hard if you do that. Something like that over there. You find you got some connections, something. Get over there in the hood somewhere. Just enjoy yourself. Now, if nobody robs you, you don't lose no money. You still gonna have a good majority of $25,000. And that's a base amount on the black market for a human body. This is not a joke. Also, the way you dress, things you have with you. We call it gravy, shawty. That's just gravy, shawty. That's just a little more extra. Some of us had to be real careful. Because if they're real savvy, they could steal your car. Take that to a chop shop. They are still in existence. The Miami-Dade County Police just shut down, I want to say the right towing company, on one location of like ASAP towing a couple of months ago. This thing is so real. They came in there, he was breaking the car down, he had a pistol on him. That enhanced his charge. Made it armed, such and such, felony. Show you how serious this thing is. You take the person's car to the chop shop, take cash out their wallet. You might wait for a minute for the credit card. You might pass that to a partner, right? But you get that body, got that car. Real slick. Go in the house. Take him in the house. Person thinking they being robbed. Take him in the house, open the safe, do all that kind of stuff. Jewelry, you can have whatever you want, just please don't. Still take him, take other family members. Think they won't do it. Take them vehicles to the chop shop. Don't even tell the chop shop all the stuff they doing. Chop shop don't even know who they are. That's why y'all out there talking about that illegal immigrant thing. This thing is real. Like I say, let me tell y'all something about the local gang. This has been my experience. My first charge came from a situation like that. Somebody looked like me, so they say. Actually did the charge. I got the charge. I'm a mid-guard, North Gate, North America. Right? Ain't no damn illegal immigrant. It's my shit. That could have well been an illegal immigrant. F my life up to this day. Now, and we are arch enemies to the day, being in the courthouse. Now, I know gang members and street guys who they can't really call them a gang, but they collected a lot of felonies over their time. Probably been a juvenile and all different things, GTA, burglary, robbery, selling dope, whatever, having a gun, all kind of stuff. Assault and battery, just felonies. Average dude that been in and out. They will come to you, and this from personal account. Pick you up, put you in interrogation. They have told guys this. These are not immigrants. These are not people on visa stays. These are people they can't deport anywhere because they are not from anywhere else. They're from here. And they tell them, if you don't take this charge, I'm going to give you all the charges like this in this certain like mapped area. Now, it might be 20-something. Rash or burglary or something. Car burglary. A burglary on an unoccupied vehicle. Something in the flavor of the one they're trying to get you to take. They have actually looked in men's faces and told them that a man that has children, parents that are aging, mortgages to pay, bills to pay, a woman that has the children for them, that gave birth to these children, that's dependent on this man, who when she finally drags him in the child support court after a few years or whatever of relationship, they will actually act as if they're trying to help this woman by putting this man on child support. Knowing that at least one time an officer tried or successfully forced him to take a felony and threatened him if he didn't take it, he would put the other ones in that area on him because it probably would stick because he's a known such and such. Imagine how many illegal immigrants had actually done those things. And this the type of life we got to deal with. Because, like I say, all local gangs take the full force brunt of all local crime. Y'all doing everything from stealing the hubcap, the rims, and all that type of stuff, snatching chains, and all that kind of little petty stuff, snatching purses, all the way up to home invasion, robbery, bank robbery. We the first ones that they really wouldn't mind getting that charge. First of all, they looking for us to actually do it. I mean, looking. Right, people wearing wires, phone tap, bug, all that kind of play with it. Right? Constant surveillance. In case that's what's on being about to be carried out. They can't stand us when it come down to us coming up. You see Killer Mike got that award with a Grammy. He got locked up like the same night. That's down by law. Atlanta. Quote unquote black man. Right? I say he's a Moor. I say he's an indigo, but I don't know what he want to call himself. But quote unquote black man just won a Grammy. Right? And before you know it, he locked up on some petty jive. They can't stand us. Now that thing I was telling about the Black Panthers, when Angela Davis and Webster Moore walked down the middle of the street to stop that shootout between 200 or more officers and about 6, I say like 20, it was about 6 Black Panthers. And I got to go back again and check that too. So now we got 20, anywhere between 20 and 6. They got to find out which one. But it was less than 20. I say like 6. This stuff carries on. When I talk about who you think, go Google and find out. Not Google per se, but search engine on the internet. Right? Go find out what's the budget for the FBI, for the DA, who largely speak English, who largely were raised in America, who went to school with a lot of so-called criminals, where a lot of the intel come from. They went to school with them. Probably hung with some of them. So they went that way. They went separate ways. That's where the intel come from. They got big brother, big sisters, big cousin and all that. They soaking up the game like all youth do. All youth watch the movies. Some of them be on the movies, right? What's popular now? Empire and Power. I think Curtis Jackson got a lot to do with it. 50 Cent. So, you know, they decide to get up under the commissioner and all them and do this war on drugs, tough on crime. Now fast forward, because you talking about way back to really Lyndon B. Johnson, be honest. Lyndon B. Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, was before Nixon. But Nixon gonna roll on in there around Agnew them time. Ford, because Nixon gonna resign or something, whatever they call that. He gonna take himself out the Watergate. You have Carter, Reagan, Bush. Clintons. And I think Bush again. Right. I don't want to say nothing wrong. Obama gonna come soon, but I might be missing somebody. So anyway, you got this war on drugs. Then you got tough on crime. Now, the drugs that they scheduled and said was wrong, you got the marijuana, some hemp strains grow over here like red hair cess. I think it's native to the Northgate. Red hair cess, we call it in Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, we call it red hair cess. But then you got marijuana coming like a lot from Jamaica, and you got Bolivia, Colombia, and Peru. And medical. A large manufacturer, as far as growing in the field from the dirt, getting out the mud, cocaine and opium, poppy. Now, no person born and raised in America really has much play with that over there. A government official would touch that before we would. I mean, hands on. And a government official will oversee the actual trafficking of a shipment from here to there before we will. A significant amount. Right? Criminally, according to their legal code these days, significant amount. We the last man. Like I say, before they start this old infamil stuff, they rhyme with infamil jive, sometime a little before 2013, I think. Man, you would be dreaming to find something even street standard potent. Most people wouldn't believe. Yeah, whatever. I believe when I see it. What you say you got? Yeah, whatever. More than likely it's wax, sheetrock, right? Flour, things like that. Then you bump on up to something all stepped on. Can't hardly do nothing with it. Ain't worth the money you charging. Then you got something enough to say, well, that's it, but it ain't good enough for them as a consumer to use to get what they want. It's a mind thing. It's a mental thing. It should be enough in there to have the endorphins and all the kind of stuff going on in the brain to release those endorphins and dopamine and all that so they can go on their little trip and feel their way. Ain't enough, hardly better enough to do that. Then you got some that's standard, street, for a specific time frame. So you got the 60s, you had a standard. The 70s, you had a standard. And for certain types, it was going down. So to say I got this and that and third, most people are like, okay. And if you had it, they'll mess with you. And by the time I really got out the porch, 12, 13, getting out and about, it was very dangerous for the peddler to keep it real. Because they was coming. They coming. If you're in a Section 8, you're going to lose it. If you want to try to apply for student loan and all that, you might not get it after that charge. It's a lot of things on the line when they come, but they coming. They coming. So, this stuff, this potency of stuff, we're not manufacturing it. We're not bringing it in. And what's happening with the gentrification and all that kind of stuff going on, they found out many of them are actually kind of living here, kind of running amok. MS-13, Los Zeta. They trying to turn North America into medical. See, medical is terrible when it comes to innocent bystanders getting lit the F up by high-power rifle. With the little cartel supposed to be having their little wars and stuff. Medical, it got it bad. We have our incidents. I'm in Broward County, Florida, USA. You got Marjorie Stone Douglas, where Nicholas Cruz messed up a lot of people. You got El Moolah Club. The El Moolah Club with Black Blues and the Bricks were going at it. 21-something odd people got messed up, shot, but about 3 died. You know, we have our incidents that stem from people who are from here. But we ain't got it like medical. Nah, medical, they shut down a police station, getting at the police. I'm talking about knocking them off. They sloppy. They terrible. So, knowing full well that they are over here making y'all look at us first. Folk Nation and People Nation. Dad said stop throwing it up, but I'm throwing it for a good reason. Because Dad and Angel Bay, Don Dirt, have spoken out, and they have been speaking out. They told y'all, just like Minister Louis Farrakhan and a whole lot of other people told y'all where they originated, what they were trying to do, a lot like the Panther Party. Is record. I got some of that on some of my posts. What J. Edgar Hoover said, quote, unquote. Effectively dismantled the Panther Party and then came out eventually with the WIC and kind of made it, as far as from now to then, they made the food stamp program permanent. But then you got the Clinton administration. What happened under the Clinton administration? To the generations of taxpayers, the flag bearers, the U.S. military uniform, boots on the ground, kicking ass around the world, coming out from under the Pentagons, right? Who basically annexed with D.C. White House. That cushy job in the White House. Bush Sr., Bush Jr., Obama. Upon Obama, U.S. military personnel, according to their news media outlets. I don't hear any objections coming from the White House. Obama successfully got, Gaddafi, Hussein, some of the biggest terrorists in the world, let me tell it. So your soldiers come back here, and Wick told, he might have got a divorce or something like that. They never were married before he went to the military. There's a situation like that. Wick told the mother of his children, welfare to work program. Welfare to work program. That so-called work program, by the time 2015 got here, up until now, most definitely, the average person with any type of job are saying now that a job does not cover the expenses, because hyperinflation, superinflation, taxes have outstretched, or whatever we want to call it, outpaced the wages. All while you are trying to do away totally with the unions who made it so that people could have health care related to the job, related health care. OSHA will come out, make sure there's not too many occupational hazards and all this kind of stuff that unions got together. Labor force. What exactly are you trying to do to so-called U.S. of America and its so-called citizens? Right? Dred Scott can't say a black man can't be a citizen. A Moor can have dual citizenship. One a Moroccan subject, another one if you got dual citizenship, if you are a Moor, on the record, for the record. But of course, those Prince Hall Masons infiltrated Noble Drew Ali's network. And now that the prophet Noble Drew Ali is gone, is no more grandfather in the bed. That's a big bad wolf. My, what big teeth you have, grandpa. That's not Noble Drew Ali. That's a big bad wolf. And now we can do all we're supposed to do as a chattel, quote unquote, slave, right? Non-inheritable, property of Rome, hypothecated through the constructs and the vocabulary, words and phrases you feed us in the prison of war camps called schools, which you raise us in from pre-K to kindergarten, on well up into adulthood. We going for our second, third, fourth, fifth degree in colleges and universities. And sometimes some of us stumble across this information that Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, brought to our attention about who we are, identity. One of the first issues in court, status, jurisdiction, identity, status, jurisdiction, adjudication, I think is last. The fourth, I think it's fourth. Identity, status, and jurisdiction. Now we get to ex-rel, ex-relation from the capitalist diminishes maximus. Our name placed in all caps, which translate to Wall Street and the T-bonds. And you claiming to the world that you have this North Gate on lock with our acquiescence because we agreed to be your chattel property. Simply because we have a birth certificate of live birth that our mothers were tricked into signing. The birthing docket. When we docked on the shores of the North Gate Midgard, coming from the waters of our mother's womb. Right? Social Security card. Another one. Connected to the Citizenship V Trust. Now, you have us in this precarious situation where we would go to someone who claims to be a Moor, who claims to be a student and a friend of Noble Drew Ali the Prophet. But they will have tricky paperwork. Our only elders, a lot of blood related, clan, tribe, and whatnot, will sell us back into that chattel situation with the language who we only have them to look to, or countless years of study, still labeled as a chattel slave because we don't know how to get out of this matrix, this whatever paradigm. And you say ignorance of the law is no excuse for it. Now, you have us over here in these conditions, and you're telling us that you are raising the insurance rate from the automobile, the homeowner's insurance, all the insurance rates even gun ownership and stuff. All insurance rates are going up because of crime in a certain area. You won't allow anybody around you, immigrant or not, so-called black or not, melanated or not, poor white trash can get around you. So you corral all of us over here, who you knowingly, it's no way that you can find what you do find on the waters and somebody actually so-called sneaks in onto these shores. Some members amongst that Coast Guard and whatnot are complicit. National Guard up to the top levels who can really dictate where their little ships go out, who's on patrol. You go over here, you go over there. You get the longitude, the latitude, the knots and all that maritime talk, and you tell them to go here and there and everywhere. And you tell those people you're working with, well, you can pass through right here. You can pass through right there. You give me that money. And you break off the president and the vice president and all that. And y'all got them illegal immigrants in here getting food stamps. And we talking about the illegal ones. Not the Biden plan. This ain't nothing new. They've been coming over here the whole while. And you know it because you got the immigration that's set up. Chrome detention and all that. Y'all been finding illegal immigrants since when? Since you started saying it was illegal to come in here under the U.S. de facto government players. So now, we are blamed for the crime in the neighborhood. And that's one of the biggest problems in the Latino and the black neighborhood. And poor white. So-called poor white trash. That's one of the biggest problems is gang violence. When you attack especially the male. But you got females too. Latin queen and all that. You got the females too. Bike riding groups, they got their female stuff they come down on. But so we doing all the crime. Because you told the government the crime rate, then you talked about the criminal. A lot of them was from the so-called citizens, right? And Moroccan subjects that you have on the chattel slavery, right? Now, this is why the federal government every fiscal year pumps money, so you say, into crime and punishment. The penal system, the court, the jailhouses, the police agencies, right? And every year they foaming at the mouth. More money, more guys. We need more for crime fighting. And who gets blamed? Largely we do. Like I say, I'm a living proof. I'm a living example. And on top of that, every phony charge I got was compounded by the previous phony charge. So now every new judge gets to sit up there and say, here I have a convicted felon. You know how those type are. You know, they always say I didn't do it. That's what they all say. Okay. Now, a judge, supposedly, probably a magistrate, a magician, has license now within the Florida bar system and all that, the legal system, how they run it, de facto, to now treat a convicted felon differently than a first-time offender. They can even punish him more, severely. And this has been my experience. So I know the damage that's done, especially when they're coming from the Eastern Hemisphere. But you can find any person that's indigenous or autochthonous over here and go around the whole world and find people look just like them. So you definitely gonna go to the Eastern Hemisphere and find somebody look just like them. So you got these illegal immigrants committing these crimes. They can't work nowhere or that they falsify documents, which they do that. So that hurts what? That same labor force that you say, well, you could get a job. Not if you're gonna hire a legal immigrant. So when we unionize and we strike and we say we pick over certain jobs, they ain't paying enough. Guess what? Illegal immigrants with falsified documents are working. So Wendy's and McDonald's and all that, they don't feel the pressure to raise the minimum wage and whatnot. And they will, people like that, they will knowingly hire illegal immigrants, crackheads, opioid heads, and people like that who have problems. High school graduate, they don't have no damn degree. Yeah. They will hire these people. Because a person with a mortgage who's really paying some taxes, really paying some bills, really kicking out a lot of dollars, consumer dollars, that your major corporations thrive off of this type of person. But you'll chop your own hand off to keep them unemployed, barely paid and underpaid and overworked and all that. I mean, the system itself is idiotic, and it really destroyed itself. So it's not so much as commerce, it's about control. It's a system of control. I'm kicking the bobo. You get my age, you get around people, Uncle Lonnie. I used to be with my daddy, Uncle Lonnie, Walker, Mr. Jimmy, Mr. Jimmy Howard, and all that Dunkin' Donuts somewhere. Conversations get more like this and less about them bitches and hoes and getting your thing that Johnson slurped on and all that kind of stuff. You know, be more stuff like this. You know, and them particular one, they worked all their life and got their children around, grandchildren around them, so they less griping. It's less of that fire. So you got to get them a little younger to get that fire in the conversation. When you're going back and forth, and you got a lot of people, man, for whatever reason, poorly informed. Some of them be Masons and stuff, don't want to talk down on the establishment because they are beholden to. They have fiduciary obligations, and they're not to be enlightening people too much on many things. If you want to know one, ask one, they'll show you how to get into the order of the Masonic order, the order of the shrine, Eastern order of the shrines and all that. But outside of that order, they don't like to talk much. You know, they don't like to talk down on Big Daddy Pope, right? In the puppet governments and stuff like that, because you know, they on their team. It's like stepping on a Roman seal. A lot of them don't like to talk down on Jesus, the Trinity, like a heretic would, right? So it depends on who you got around you, how they gonna talk. You know, I'm kicking a bobo, but it sounding like way more than that, ain't it? Yeah, I'm 52 years old, man. I don't do too much of that small talk, small-minded. This world is messed up because of that. This world, not the earth, it's this world. Imam Wahid Muhammad called it the world of words. We exist in contracts. Communication from man to man, man to mankind, largely built everything you see. You will never see a road laid down without some communication. A foundation for a building without some type of communication. You got blueprints, you got all kind of, that's communication. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, and language, spoken word, right? And plenty of contracts. Plenty of contracts. So, I'm finna wrap this thing up because I don't like them too long. Great day in the morning, a day when they convene. They adjourn Senate deal. But they must convene to reset Republic. Great day. When that day comes, I hope I'm not too much older, because I want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy myself. and not have to deal with this oppression. I want to know life up under my clans, my tribes, and all the neighboring clans and tribes, and travel the world when it's back de jure and not de facto. That would be a beautiful thing. I mean, it's all right now. It's pretty nice now. I see people like Rock the MC. She'll go to Africa, somewhere in Africa, somewhere in India, somewhere in something handmade, article of clothing and stuff. That type of thing. Culture freedom. Right? I would like to do that. But under this current day oppression, you know, I think it better to deal with the oppressor here. At least I speak the language. Going to China somewhere. Chinese government hung a man without a trial. They claim they found here some chains right there too. As soon as I said they came out, they weren't even in the view yet. They get some chains, some Asians. Yeah, that black dude with the dread, he looked like with them slanted eyes. Genghis Khan, great grandson. So anyway, a dude from Africa got hung without a trial. I was at Locking It Down record. Miami Mac was in the office, and I was reading the paper, laughing. It might have been online. And I'm laughing. It ain't funny. But I'm laughing at how my mind be on point. See, that's the type of jive why I don't do certain things. And they hung him without a trial, man, about trafficking some type of drug. It was some type of, it must have been opioid. Because I think he was trying to get out of China with it. So more than likely, that probably opioid there. Right. Trying to get out of China with something. I think that what it was, if I'm not mistaken. My memory doesn't fail me. They hung him without a trial. Anybody know the story of Joseph in the Bible? Joseph told them to plant some stuff on them people and say they stole for a good reason. Imagine they planted that stuff on him just to hang him and take his job, whatever job he did have, take that, hung him, something word to his home people, he got caught trafficking. China don't play that. See? And I know, player, you know, if I want a problem out of y'all, I'm going to find me a good dojo. Possibly a PAL gym. Sign up. Kick ass like the true ghetto fighter, raised person that I am. Sensei Rennie raised my sensei, Professor Jerry Denson. Professor Jerry Denson is a ghetto fighter. I think he that first before Sanukis. Right. On the Nisi-Go-Ju, I think he was on the Nisi-Go-Ju system first. Then he got up on the Sanuki. If I'm not mistaken. Ghetto fighter. Fine when he PAL gym, dojo sign in, and wait for that day for sparring or kumite. Wait for somebody to jump out the bushes, stick a gun in my head, something like I might try something then, fuck it, might as well, probably gonna kill me anyway. Other than that, I ain't traveling all around the world. They play too many games. They play too many games. They steal your luggage. You ain't even got from point A to point B good, you already a victim. Steal your luggage. Shit, they fighting at the airport now. They have fights on the plane. They putting people off the plane for no good reason, and you done paid, probably can't get your ticket back. They're playing a lot of games. A lot of playing going down. It's a rich couple. Right? A rich group, a family group that was on a small boat. I wouldn't even call it a yacht. They're very wealthy, and the boat capsized, they all died. We live in some dangerous times, man. I don't know what it is, but we living in some dangerous times, brothers and sisters. And with that, I salute. It's Sabado. Right, like the 31st or something like that. 30th. Augusto. 30th. Sabado. about to sign off. Kickin Da Bo Bo.